How we doing, my friends? It's your Florida History Hunter, and today we're in Ormond Beach, and we're walking the old trail that ran from the Bulow plantation down to the sugar mill. So this particular pathway's got history, a couple hundred years. So we're right off of Old Dixie Highway. In fact, the parking area is off of Boardman in Ormond, just a couple of minutes off of I-95. And here we are, early November, and it's bloody hot again. Decided to come up to Flagler County today, get away from Volusia for the afternoon and get a little walking exercise in. Been having a lot of mobility issues last few months. Good to see other people out and about enjoying their hiking.
How you doing today?
How you doing?
Good, good.
Any coolness out there? You didn't drop anything pink, did you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If you go out and take a left.
Yeah, that's where I'm heading.
Yeah, you can get out to a nice spot. You can see like the river.
The river, yeah.
So that ain't you?
No?
No.
No.
Okay, it was down in front of the cars there at the parking area.
Oh yeah. No, it wasn't us.
I do have a pink one, but I don't have a rubber band on it.
Somebody's gonna be like, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, so the trail this way is not flooded?
There's some spots with water, but you can walk.
Yeah, I can run
You're
over
more
there.
ready if we can get there. Then,
Yeah, we forgot.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it ain't too bad. Ain't too bad.
Yeah, that's one thing I make sure I don't never leave without. Boots, plenty of drinking water.
Yeah, you're smarter than us with the boots. But yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
It's really peaceful.
I just wish this summer would break. This is like summer 26 this year.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's coming back
It
and
was
coming
cool
back.
for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
Now
through
it's
2 or 3 days of big teas, and everybody's like, yeah, open the
Oh,
windows
man,
up.
right back to it.
Yeah, someone told me, they're like, I can't wait for the cold, and I was like, I hope you know this is fake cold. It's not gonna be cold yet.
You want cold, you gotta go to Chicago or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
right.
bet, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that kind of cold. But I've been living in Florida like 38 years.
Oh yeah.
And then like when I got married the first time, before we got married, my fiance's like, we gotta go see my family. I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to the West Coast. She says, oh, no, my other family.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chicago. So we went up there for Christmas, and it was like the coldest winter they had for like decades or
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah.
And like
Damn.
I woke up Christmas morning and I'm like, yes, snow, you know. So
Yeah, that's a different
Yeah,
type
we
of
went
cold.
up skiing in West Virginia. Snow everywhere. It snowed. It was like, oh my god.
So I'm like shoveling my soon-to-be brother-in-law's driveway. He sticks his head out the door. Dawn! Yeah. You're freaking my neighbors out. They want to know who the white dread is. Is he foolish? And then he's like, oh yeah, by the way, D, you know I got a snowblower. I'm like, I don't care, you know. I feel like I'm like 15 again, running down the driveway, pushing snow
Yeah, right.
out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Wow.
hey, you enjoy your walk. Enjoy
Yep,
your
I'm hoping to
afternoon.
find some artifacts. That's what I'm doing out here.
Artifacts. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
With like shell mounds and stuff like that.
Nah, I don't mess with the shell mounds as much as like glass debris and stuff like that. You get in trouble messing on shell mounds. And if you pick anything up, you know, there's a little gray area there. If you dug it up, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
To protect
Yeah.
them, right?
But
Oh, wow.
like if an animal dug a burrow and threw it on the ground, you could kind of sort of, but then you got to see where you're at, and there's so
Careful, yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
do pick up artifacts at a can't really define it as a midden anymore because, you know, back when they started selling in this area, they used to dig that stuff up for fill. So like down in the land area, they're tearing down a lot of the old homes that they built in the late 1800s to 1900s and all.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of those are on top of shell fill. So there's a property on West Land. I pulled about 200 pieces of Indian pottery out of there.
Oh, shit, really?
Just little piecey parts. And,
Yeah.
but each one tells a story. You know, because if you look the way they broke it down, so like I forget what like the majority of the tribe, like in the Florida area, and then it was subdivided into the St. John's culture peoples. And so anywhere from St. Augustine all the way down mid-state to the coast, any waterway that was connected to the St. John's was considered the St. John culture. But as you moved down the St. John, actually up it, south is up.
South is up, yeah, it flows.
North is the other way. So as you're heading south into the flow, this area, the Indians, you know, their staple was oyster.
Oysters.
That's why you got all the oyster mounds.
Oyster shells, right?
You get down a little more inland, like where I'm from, snail shells. And I ain't talking about just an average pile of snail shells. There's areas where the ridge is like 10 times the distance to that trees in front of us.
Wow. Like apple snails they eat?
No, it was little ones, the little
Really?
teeny weeny little white ones. At biggest that, at smallest like that.
Really?
But I mean by the trillions to the trillionth power. It's a mind boggle when you actually wrap your mind about how much escargot they ate.
Yeah.
And yet they claim that wasn't their main meal.
Their staple, right?
But I imagine, how you doing today? I imagine as popcorn or rice, mashed potato is to us today, that was something that every meal consisted of. So mixed in with that, you find your pottery fragments, occasional animal bones, human remains, you know, whatever happened to have been discarded back in the day. And I've been talking to people, and it's hard to really get a lot of fact because a lot of stuff's based on hearsay, speculation, possibility, maybes, and you know. But you know, one person was telling me that it wasn't unusual to put like remains into a vessel and then smash that vessel somewhere.
Oh wow.
So
you find like remains sometimes.
I've never found any human remains. I have found like animal bone. All sorts of shapes of pottery fragments, from stuff this big down to like little chunks like that. And different textures on it. Like they were pretty much sort of plain Jane through our region, but when you get down around Geneva, which is kind of like between Orlando and Titusville, they were into like doing like a crisscross pattern on their pottery.
Really?
Oh.
And then they also did like it's almost as if they were trying to simulate the bark pattern.
Oh, really?
And to me, I call it like the peanut shell, because when you look at the texture, it looks just like you see it on a peanut shell, where it's got dimples and then it's got like the ridges on it.
Wow.
So I could see where they were like trading between tribes using the river as their highway. You know, I need this. Well, you guys are in an area that's got a lot of like berries or whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
it's kind of cool.
Wow.
Oh.
There's a lot of history. This actually goes back hundreds of years, this trail. We're close to this trail.
Really? This trail?
And so from Bulow Plantation at that end,
Yeah.
you used to be able to go all the way down to the sugar mill down the road here.
Wow.
Sugar mill. Huh.
And so there's all kinds of activity for hundreds and hundreds of years with the Anglo, and then before that, thousands of years with the Indians.
Yeah, sure.
And so you got to figure there's been a lot of
people.
wagon traffic down Boardman Road, foot traffic, cars. Down at the curve down here, I just hiked this side. I pretty much cleaned it out, but today's find, well, there's a Rolling Rock beer bottle. I'm thinking it's probably 70s or 80s.
Rolling Rock.
Yeah, that was a Northeast. I think they originated out of Pennsylvania. It was like cheap beer back in the day. And then a broken Coke bottle. but I picked it up anyway. I thought I stuck it in there. My bag eats stuff. It goes in there and disappears.
Like my bag.
It's like the magic bag. Of course, it goes all the way to the bottom. I gotta watch because it's broken.
Broken glass all in there, huh?
Oh no, it's a broken Coke bottle.
Oh.
But that one's a patent D, and patent D tells me it's 1940s.
Really?
And then
Wow.
you can see on the bottom,
Yeah.
Milledgeville, Georgia. Never even heard of it.
Huh. And they have the place where it was bottled, I guess. On
Yeah,
there?
that's the Coca-Cola bottler.
That's so cool.
So that curve right there, I pulled 2 Christmas Cokes, 1923,
Yeah.
and then a couple weeks later, I got a grape knee-high. Thank you, from 1923 or 20.
Knee-high?
Yeah, soda bottles.
Oh, okay.
All of them from 1920s. And somebody came around the corner there one day, pitched it out the window of their Model A or Model T.
It just sat there for after all the floods and everything, and it's still there somehow, huh?
Well, you know what happens is the wild hogs root everything up, and I always come in behind them. So there's been like a super amount of activity since the hurricane on that curve.
Yeah.
I was expecting all kinds of stuff, but I think we pretty much... Am I still running? Oop. All right, we're back, my friends. Your Florida History Hunter, and we are walking the old Colonial Trail, I'm going to call it, and it's a pathway that used to lead from Bulow Plantation down to the Demet sugar mill. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. So yeah, down to the sugar mill, and they used to raise cane. You ever heard the term raising cane? Well, they did some raising cane in this area and used to refine it and make the rum. Used to make rum, 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 rum. Good contribution. So we're just out here today, trying to get a little exercise. Feeling blessed that I'm able to actually get out and about on account of my mobility problem. So that's why I got the walking stick with me today, for the just in case. You remember just in case? He's that other country's person. He's not really a musician. And I see a lot of trees are down since the hurricane passed about a month ago. A little over a month ago, I think. A little less than a month ago. And so there's a lot of stuff down on trail. And I'm noticing off to the sides down, and also noticing what's known as a widowmaker, not to be confused with the other widowmaker, but the widowmaker is known by the lumber industry, and that's when a tree falls and gets stopped before it crashes to the ground, and it's held up in the branches of another tree, just waiting to fall down and hit some unsuspecting lumberjack in the head. And thus, if he's married, she becomes a widow, and he becomes the victim of the widowmaker. As you can see, most of this area is palm trees, and then pine trees, like the one we're crossing over, pine trees, and then also this other kind of palmetto palm, which is what they get the saw palmetto from. That's a big industry in Central Florida, that they're having a lot of people poaching the the palmetto berries. I guess there's a big black market in that. So in case you're just joining us, this is your Florida History Hunter. And we'll take a stop here. I got a little water. And we're going to let everybody just enjoy the sights and sounds of nature. It's always a pleasure to come across people that are into getting away from the normal realm, coming out here and hiking in the nature, and show a true interest in hearing what an elder has to say. They take notes, and they're very kind and courteous, respectful, and it gives me a good feeling to know that you know, I've interacted with somebody and they're going to come away with a little bit of knowledge, and I win too, because I'm able to share my experiences, and thus it keeps the information channel open. Okay, so we're at a crossroads here, and we're going to hook left. The trail to the right eventually comes out at the sugar mill, and I've hiked that trail before, and that trail takes forever. It's amazing. In a car, you're snip snap there in a nanosecond and a half. This trail, I think at one time might have been passable by wagon and by our automobile. This one Look, there's a little trail off to the side here. This trail is supposed to come out at the creek. Appears to be all kinds of trails off to the right. Seeing trailhead markers. I just passed through a small oak hammock. A lot of twig debris on this trail. Makes it sort of dangerous and slippery. Damn sure don't want to take my eye off the ground around here. I can smell the brackish water in the air. Which tells me I'm getting real close to the creek. Oh yeah, I'm seeing some flooding ahead. Okay, we're gonna go do a little slogging. I'm definitely not crossing through the middle of that. Look, it's a black hole. It's like the Black Lagoon. The creature may come out and bite me. Look, I'm starting to see shell, oyster shell. That's a sure sign that we're getting close to the water. And here's a mound. There's a shell mound right there. Oyster shell mound. There's more shell mounds right here. Look, there's concrete back here, which I find interesting. Look, more concrete. And now we're on I think this is a shell mound. This whole island right here. There's still brackish water Right there's the point where there used to be an old home. And then down on the side to the left there, you can still see two of the old houses. Get myself in a position. You can see them out there. There's the road, that High Bridge Road. Eventually it goes off over there where there's a bridge that drops you off between Ormond and Flagler Beach. There's an old cedar tree. Now this would have been planted. And there's the one on the other side. This was somebody's landing at one time. It would have been a boat landing, marking somebody's property. And they may have very well lived right on this little shell mound, this little shell island. Because there's another cedar tree. It's like they've marked the 4 points of their property. Imagine living back here 100 years ago or more. Summers would have been a real bugger. Literally, the mosquitoes and the no-see-ums right here. Surrounded 360 degrees by a brackish lagoon, backwater creeks. There are a lot of red cedar trees on this island. Another one right there, and there's some more back there. Oyster. This whole hill is oyster. Oyster and mud. Sometimes you find Indian pottery right here in the water, right at the edge. Stuff over time's come falling off the ridge and gets washed up, but I'm not seeing any. So it's okay to look, but don't dig. Like if you saw something laying on the surface and picked it up, there's still a gray area in picking it up, especially if it's in a park area. And if that's the case, if you feel it's like really significant archaeological find, drop a pin on that spot and take your find to the authorities, and they may thank you, or they may get a little pissed off and arrest you, or they may just yell at you to confiscate it and take the piece and throw it back in the woods somewhere in the dirt, cover it up. And all of those different scenarios could happen. So if you are gonna pick pieces up, let's just see, this is all shell. So if you are gonna pick pieces up, just know that you may be doing the wrong thing. And on occasion, they're grateful, especially if it's something they've never seen before. That looks like coquina right there. There's the island that we were just on, right there. Okay, my friends, I want to thank everybody for joining us here today. I'm going to come take a look at the back end of this tree right here. See a little outcropping of shell mound right here. Right here. I like to look at these outcroppings. Sometimes stuff comes splashing off after being held in by the root, and now it's been eroded away. Yep, well, I see a shell. Oyster shell. If you're like, what's for dinner tonight, dear? Oh, we're having Wild pig and oyster. Oysters on the half, oyster on the quarter. Oyster, oyster, oyster. All right, well, thanks for joining me. Part of History Hunter. We're up in Ormond Beach today, hiking the back trails that cut down between the old creeks and all that, the oyster beds. And this is the kind of stuff that wasn't paying attention. Did I come from there or did I come from there? Or did I come from there? Well, thanks for watching. I gotta figure this out so I don't get lost. Florida History Hunter, click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed.